See what we can figure out. So Slorm Builder or reset button. Or the Huntress, that should do it. Does it reset my gear? Alright, a little refresh. Huntress. Gear. Okay. Fixed. Fixed, boys. Fixed. Alright, so I think I've decided I want to play with, what's it called? Fitness? Finesse? Something like that. So skills. That is... Oh, she has Fist of the Wild too. I forgot about Fist of the Wild. 5-second cooldown. Dude. You know what? Well, let's just look at it. With the powerful thrust, you hit enemies in a straight line in front of you, dealing 120% per rank skill damage and increased damage at the climax of the attack, which is where you're aiming. Climax can only occur when finesse is cast, not when it is triggered. Okay, you guys taking notes? I was gonna do finesse next. I mean fist. Climax. Right. Okay. Finesse deals 1% increased damage. Increased damage is equal to your movement speed. Well, I will probably, if I min-max the build enough, I would want movement speed on everything. So this is like a, at most, like a 50 to 70% increased damage. So we'll keep that in mind. Finesse deals increased damage equal to the percent of life left on enemies hit. Increased damage equal to the percent of life left on enemies hit. So your first hit is 100%, then they go to 50. Your damage starts like going down as you kill the enemy. That's interesting. Very interesting. Climaxing and fisting, my kind of stream. Oh no. Finesse deals increased damage equal to the percent of life missing on enemies hit. So that one does increased damage as you kill them. This one does reduced damage as you kill them. Okay, okay. This one does consistent damage if you have movement speed. The range of finesse is increased by 10%. Okay, well I don't know what is needed. This sounds like the most utility, but we can probably just swap this stuff for some of these maybe. I think it's either this utility or this movement speed, so you're actually in range faster. I think these are kind of a gimmick and I don't like them. While tormented, finesse has no cost and its cooldown time is reduced to 0. Oh, so we want to play a torment build, which the only way to do that is like toggle between multiple skills. I don't really like the torment delighted mechanic, but if there is a way you can toggle between the two really easily, I guess we could do that. Whenever you kill an enemy at the climax, finesse cooldown is resetted. Okay. Critical strikes reduce the cooldown time of finesse by 0.5 seconds. So this goes up to, not 0.5 seconds, wait, 5%. You gotta do 20 critical strikes to get this thing off cooldown? Dude, that is terrible. So if you can climax and kill it, you can just keep climaxing over and over again. How hard is it to climax? Skill damage and percent increased damage at the climax of the attack, which is where you're aiming. Climax can only occur when finesse is cast, not when it is triggered. In a simple climax, you made my wife climax last night. Oh my god. Dive in. Whenever you cast finesse, you instantly move to the climax area. Dude, I'm like 5 trying to read this stuff. You instantly move to the climax area. What is up with this skill tree, dude? This isn't PG-13. I think the devs know what they're talking about. Finesse's climax does not deal increased damage anymore, but has an additional plus 12 critical strike chance. 3 crits okay. 12 though? How much does it go up to? 30. That's like 3 stats on gear. Just kind of depends. What else we have? Enemies within 1 yard radius of the climax are now blinded. Oh, God. What are they doing, dude? Enemies within 1 yard of the climax are now blinded for 5 seconds. Oh, man. Well, it can't be blinded, everyone, on the climax. I guess we want to instantly move to the climax area. While delighted, climax applies poison. So if you're delighted when you climax versus when you're tormented when you climax. Dude, this is a ridiculous skill tree. This is too much for me, dude. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, if you're tormented when you climax, you're gonna finesse a trap. You're gonna drop a trap. Whenever you trigger overdrive with finesse, you trigger 2 overdrives instead. Finesse has increased additional 1% overdrive chance. I don't know about overdrive. I don't really know about poison either. But I would rather play a delighted build. I'd rather just be able to climax like constantly. Oh my god, dude. This is so bad. Alright. Whenever you hit a ravenous dagger on the ground with Finesse's climax, it creates an explosion of 7 ravenous daggers. Whenever you cast Finesse, another Finesse is triggered in the opposite direction, dealing 110% increased damage. That sounds pretty cool. Oh, 200% damage in the opposite direction. You have increased range. So opposite direction with increased range sounds pretty good. Whenever you kill an enemy with climax, it's gonna reset. You instantly move to the area. I just don't know about this poison thing here. It's either poison or overdrive. I just don't know about overdrive. It seems very hard to double climax. What is going on with this build, dude? Okay. So we got like an idea here, right? Check out some gear. Is there anything for finesse? Whenever you become tormented or delighted, the cooldown time of your support skill is resetted. I don't really like any of those. Probably max life. A safe bet. Whenever you cast a skill in combat, you have a 15% chance to restore 5% of your mana. Whenever you cast ancestral skill, you do a thing. Reaper damage, block, book smash, ice imbued skills, shadow imbued skills. Okay. Armor, evasion, resist, movement skills. Evasion again. Cadence, Rift Nova, Time Lock. Okay, no good chest really. So we're going evasion memes. We'll do Heart of Darkness. Overdrive bounce number multiplier. Is there a chance we can actually play with overdrive? Overdrive's the terrible one too. It doesn't work on single target. Guess I like the poison more. Yes, I like the poison more. Okay. Damage over time effects and channeled skills deal additional damage equal to 1% of the enemy's max life per tick. That sounds pretty good so far. We'll see if we find something else. Block, smoke screen, shadow repercussion. Alright, I like the extra damage. So for poisoning, we can actually kill stuff. So pretty decent there. Restoring life, reduce damage to things that we're close to. 8% of the damage is staggered. That's probably really good. Like if we have evasion plus stagger, that's probably pretty solid. Might also be solid to do this one here. So we evade like as much as possible. When we do get hit, it goes to our mana a little bit, and it goes to our stagger a little bit. That sounds like pretty good defense. But this belt could also be good. Trap slowly pull enemies within a yard radius. Splintered can stack. Arcane Bond, Mage Skill. Okay, so I think I'm going stagger no matter what. Mana on kill, life on kill, Ring of Life, Ring of Mana. Conquest stacks, which does inner fire memes. Barrage shots. Poison. Whenever poison ticks, has a 5% chance for every previous tick to spread to another nearby enemy. Ooh, that sounds amazing, dude. Dude, we have like... We have something. We will be delighted all the time while we're using finesse. And that is going to apply poison. And then the poison's going to have a chance to spread. We're going to wear 2 of these. And as this increases, hopefully we can get to like 25% chance each. And then as it's ticking, it's going to tick for their enemy max health. So we're kind of playing like a poison dot build. I'm about it, dude. This is actually very different than anything I've done so far in the game. Gold Find, Idol, Armor Multiplier, Banners of War, Deflect, Time Warp, Burning Trail. Burning Trail does damage over time too, so I kind of like that because it kind of goes with this cloak. Join the dark side. Yes, dude. The Burning Trail with the Soul-Eating Mantle also seems good. We might just be a Soul-Eating Mantle build at this point. Moving on to gloves, we got Life Leech. Overdrive damage multiplier. When you dealt damage, restore life over the next 7 seconds. Life restored equal to your LE damage. I don't think I'm going LE. Probably gonna be boring and use attack speed gloves, like always. Other options, melee skills can cast your Reaper, overdrive damage, mighty swing, stab, arrow shot. So stab is the only other skill specific one. When you cast stab, you have a 20% chance to cast up to 5 additional stabs in a line moving away from you. What? That sounds really cool. So you cast stab, this is going to increase with reinforce. It starts at 20%. So it's probably going to get up to like 50% around reinforce 10. And you can also do melee recast chance. That can be a lot of stabs, dude. But I'm going attack speed. Over here, what do we have? We have critical strike multiplier for enemies 90% life and above. Overdrive damage, deadly splinter. It was a villainous. I'm good. Heavy shot. Septimus blade. You throw a Septimus blade dealing skill damage and stunning enemies hit for 100 seconds before becoming a ravenous dagger. 100 seconds. Orb of Arcane Master, Frostbolt. Okay, no good bracers. And finally, shoulders. Thorns, projectile, max Reaper damage. Whenever you deal damage to an enemy, you have a plus 10 critical strike chance multiplier for each yard between you and him. So that's probably 0. Grappling hook, wandering arrow. So this would probably be the max Reaper damage multiplier. I don't really see another way to do this. So this would be build so far. Let's also look at more skills, I guess. I guess we want some more poison stuff. Is this a good tree for poison? It looks like it based off the color. Max mana? You have plus max mana. Max mana is equal to 19% of your evasion? Oh, what? You can stack evasion to get max mana? This is some apprentice stuff right here. Stack evasion, get max mana, turn your max mana into what? Thorns and life? That's some apprentice stuff right there. Just convert forever. I don't want any of these. Very increased size, totem, light arrows. Okay. Serenity, ravenous daggers apply poison. Totem. Enemies are pulled. Whenever you kill an enemy, light ballista, belly damage, traps. Alright, this is not the tree for us. I think smokescreen has some poison stuff. Oh, we get some percent evasion. That's looking good. Knockback on projectile. We're not doing projectiles. We don't care about that. When your serenity should be increased by 1 is increased by 2 instead. When idle, you get 50% armor penetration. Inner fire duration, smokescreen. I guess this one. When idle for half a second. Okay, why not? Whenever you trigger a ravenous swirl, you trigger a ravenous swirl of every ravenous dagger. Whenever you walk on a ravenous dagger, it creates an explosion of 7 ravenous daggers instead of a ravenous swirl. During smokescreen, you ignore enemy attacks and can move through enemies. We want swirls? Or we want 7 dagger explosions? I guess we want dagger explosions, huh? 16 ravenous dagger explosions? What do we get over here? Just a swirl? I'd have to test which one was better, but... You have 14% critical strike damage. Goes up to 50? Oh. we just make another gold find build. Mana regen. Whenever you cast smokescreen, lay down a trap. Alright, we're going for the critical strike damage. When in combat, whenever you become tormented or delighted, lay down a ravenous dagger. No thanks. Poison ticks deal 1% increased damage for each poisoned enemy within a 5-yard radius. 3%? That's it? And that's a trap thing. I don't want to do traps. Whenever you evade an attack, you lay down a ravenous dagger. That sounds awesome. Aura increased effects. And smokescreen stuns. We also have inner fire applies poison. Maybe there is a reason to go... Oh, that's overdrive, never mind. Maybe there is a reason to go inner fire. Inner fire duration over here. 7-second inner fire duration increase. Yeah, we're probably going inner fire, aren't we? With poison. Or we can get evasion equal to a percentage of your armor. But I'm not stacking armor. Oh, poison deals increased damage? 25% increased damage or more ways to apply them. I just have to see which one is actually better in game. Whenever you apply poison on a poisoned enemy, it consumes the poison before refreshing it. Consuming the poison deals 13% of the remaining damage. Yeah, this is the one right here. Alright, things are coming together. I like the smokescreen plus finesse build we got going on here. Which basically wants us to just hold down finesse, poison everything. We're going to trigger inner fire. Inner fire is going to last forever. We're going to evade things and put daggers on the ground. Whenever we walk over a dagger, it's going to do an explosion of daggers. I think daggers also poison? Is that a thing? I thought I read that somewhere. Maybe that was in another tree. Oh, there's 10 of these. 40% of the remaining damage. Okay. Tormented. Where's more poison stuff? I guess we don't need this anymore. While delighted, climax applies poison to enemies hit. I mean, it's like bonus, I guess. Whenever you trigger overdrive with finesse, you trigger 2 overdrives instead. Overdrive just sucks, dude. Whenever you hit a ravenous dagger on the ground with finesse, it creates an explosion of 7. That might actually be better. Whenever you hit A ravenous dagger on the ground with Phoenix's climax. Oh, it has to hit with the climax. I mean, it could all work, right? We could have some kind of build that, like, evades, drops daggers, hits the dagger, explodes the dagger. The dagger's gonna explode into, like, 16 daggers over here, but also another 16 over here. I don't know if those stack like that. You get 32 daggers. Is there a way to make the daggers apply a poison? Alright, we need a secondary skill, don't we? I think arrow shot is going to be absolutely terrible for us, but I'm going to quickly check and see. Whenever you hit an enemy, comes tract, pierce, fork, projectile speed thing, evasion multiplier. So that's like a free multiplier, isn't it? So I can get a 25% evasion multiplier if I go here, so that's something. If I'm delighted, which I was currently planning on being delighted 100% of the time. After each rebound does damage, arrow shot cooldown, arrow shot additional projectile, increased damage, fork. Whenever you hit an enemy with arrow shot, it refreshes poison. So there would be like this one and this one would be the only things I would care about. Alright, what about this one? Whenever you cast rain of arrows, if you are tormented, the first volley of rain of arrows will drop a ravenous dagger. Okay. First volley drops a trap. Reduce the travel time. Increase the size but decrease the damage. Rain of arrows has a chance to apply armor broken. Pulls enemies in. Belly damage. And increased damage. Increased damage for every projectile. Multiple volleys. Reduced effect size. When Rain of Arrows hits a Ravenous Dagger on the ground, the Ravenous Dagger comes back to you. Slow. Critical strike chance for each enemy. Life on kill. Damage for each volley. While delighted, whenever you cast Rain of Arrows, you gain delighted rain stack. Okay, yeah. Tried to use that before. While tormented, the next skill you cast, primary or secondary, will apply poison to the enemy hit. Kinda need a way for that to work. So I'd have to switch between like finesse and poison constantly. Stab deals increased damage. Stab's mana cost increased by 2. Okay. Melee recast chance. Daze. Stab applies poison to the first enemy hit. Is stab just better for a poison build? Dang it, dude. Don't do this to me. Range. Cooldown reset. Instantly move to the climax area. I guess this applies poison. If you're only using the skill, it applies poison. And some dagger stuff. But this one just straight has poison on the first enemy hit. Increased damage equal to your knockback when melee. Stabs critical strike. Triggers a sharpened blade in front of you. Sharpened blade deals 13% skill damage in a short range, then becomes a ravenous dagger. Critical strikes summon ravenous daggers. Stab is so good, isn't it? Critical strike damage. 150% critical strike damage? This tree is nutty. Stab has additional +1 critical strike chance. Additional critical strike chance is equal to your recast chance. What? You don't have to get crit strike on gear, you just get recast and you get 100% critical strike chance? With 150 crit strike damage that always poisons? What the heck is this, dude? This is nutty. If stab hits 3 or more enemies at once, your next stab has an additional 50% ancestral strike chance for the next 2 seconds. Dude, what is this tree? Might be going stab, boys. This is so dumb. When stab applies poison to an enemy, it also applies poison to nearby enemies. Up to 1. Up to 5? I guess I need to figure out if I'm going like stab or poison. Either way, it's like stab looks better. While delighted, you have 1.5 life leech on poison damage. What is this? What is this skill, dude? This is ridiculous. Stabs recast have a 5% chance to recast again. You get 50% double recast chance? What the hell? Whenever you hit an enemy with stab, if twice the damage of stab would kill the enemy, stab deals twice the damage? This is a rogue to come. We're trying to figure out how I want to make this character. At first I was going down the finesse tree, looking at it, and it has like some small poison synergies. Like if you only cast a skill, you'll be delighted. You're gonna be poisoning everything. And then I can use the Soul Eating Mantle so that the poison will tick for like percentage of the enemy's max life. And I can use these 2 rings that whenever poison ticks, it has a chance for every previous... It's a 5% chance for every previous tick to spread to another enemy. So the first tick should be 25% or whatever. Once you have it reinforced. I guess it's going to be like 10%. Let's just say 10%. The first tick is 10%. The second tick is 20, then 30, then 40, or whatever. I don't know how fast it ticks, but if you have 2 of them, it should be spreading the poison like constantly. But I was looking at the stab stuff, and it's like they get some free like if stab hits 3 enemies, you get ancestral strike chance. I don't know how possible that is actually. It might be a really short range and not be able to hit 3 enemies. We'd probably just go with a safe bet of like the increased damage. And then we could get melee recast chance up to 25% if we wanted. That's like 2 stats on gear. It seems kind of bad. Enemies are dazed. Stab applies poison to the first enemy hit. That sounds great, right? Like, we stab something, it gets poisoned. We can do critical strikes, make sharpened blades. Sharpened blades make ravenous daggers. We have some ravenous dagger synergy over here with a bunch of ravenous daggers stuff. That has additional 150 critical strike damage, which seems like the strongest. Because if poison is like bond, it should be able to crit. You kill an enemy with stab, trigger an overdrive effect. Stab has +1 critical strike chance. Additional critical strike chance equal to your recast chance. That's ridiculous. 100% recast chance on gear and you can get a 300% critical strike chance. Or you can grab the recast chance here and only need 75 recast on gear and you get 100% crit chance. But you lose a poison on first poison on hit. I need some kind of way to do that. We can do while delighted, we get leech off of our poison damage, which sounds pretty crazy. Or we can go for upfront damage and go 50% chance to recast an additional recast. I think I want to go poison. But obviously it needs to be like stab crit poison. Would love a thief build. That's kind of what we're trying to do. Do a stab crit poison, but I don't... I was looking at this finesse skill, and I might still try out this skill. But It's looking like stab does everything I want. So how good could this be for like a secondary skill? It has range. Everything deals with finesse on the top row. Finesse. Finesse. Oh, this is critical strikes reduce the time of the finesse. It doesn't have to be critical strikes from this skill. So if I was doing this as a primary skill, and I was using finesse as a secondary, we get the extra range, we'd cast it on cooldown, which is like 5 seconds. We would slowly reduce the cooldown. I would instantly move to the area, so it'd be like a blink, I guess. We could get blind for free instead of the blink. So one of these two, blind or blink. While delighted, climax applies poison, so we'd have to drop that one. Whenever you trigger overdrive with finesse, you trigger 2 overdrives instead. I don't see a world where any of these matters, so I guess I'll just go with this. I'll probably be like doing a bunch of stabs, so I'll be full delighted, and then I'll do my first climax and it'll poison. Maybe hit a ravenous dagger. Maybe this one would be good, maybe this one would be good. Let's look at this again. Evasion. Inner fire duration. I guess I might go with Optimus so I can get back to delighted as fast as possible. Still keeping the daggers. Critical strike damage sounds ridiculous. While in combat, whenever you become tormented or delighted, lay down a ravenous dagger. I might go with that. We also have poison ticks deal 3% increased damage for each poisoned enemy within a 5-yard radius, which sounds kinda needed, but maybe it's not. 3% increased damage for each poisoned enemy within a 5-yard radius, so it only counts the enemy once. So if there's 10 enemies, it's only 30% increased damage. It's actually not that much. I don't know how much daggers are gonna do though. Might be better than nothing. Because this is gonna be kind of niche, but this will be like all the time, so we'll just keep that. Whenever you evaded an attack, you get a ravenous dagger. Or you can go for aura effect. One of those two. Inner fire applies poison. Evasion equal to your armor. Poison deals increased damage. So if we're not going this way, I think I can avoid inner fire entirely, which sounds great to me. So we get more poison damage. Yeah, this looks good to me if I'm sticking with finesse. Which I probably would. So I think this is the build so far. Let's see if any of the gear changed, because I know I switched to stab and there's like one good stab item, which I think was boots. Was it not boots? Was it the cape? I'm gonna have to go through all of this to try to figure it out. Okay. Chest. Not chest. Cape. Still not cape. Belt. Not belt. Ring? Please don't be ring. Okay, it's not ring. Gloves? Alright, it's gloves. Whenever you cast stab, you have a 20% chance to cast up to 5 additional stabs in the line moving away from you. Yeah, we would use those. Those sound sick. Absolutely sick. Alright, so what else we need to do? We need to look at this stuff here. Is there anything with poison? Raw damage, damage to elites. We got LE damage. Is poison considered LE damage? Raw damage. LE damage when you have low life, attack speed, flashing darts. Lightning seal, gold is fine. Ice. LE damage, LE pin, LE resist, mana regen, movement speed, attack speed. Trigger an inner fire. Trigger shield globe. I need to log into the game and see how poison is calculated. Alright, to the Huntress. Dun da da da. Poison. Poison deals all about skill damage. 200% skill damage over 7 seconds. Okay, so we just need skill damage. That is good to know. Back to the browser. So skill damage is what's up. So that's easy then. That's easy game. So I'd probably be picking this one. Raw damage, damage to elites. Some free little mana regen. Ellie damage. While this is toggled on, you leave a trail of fire behind you, dealing 60% Ellie damage to enemies walking on it. I don't think I have to take that, do I? I get the burning trail from the boots. Back to the game. Do we get the skill from the boots, or we gotta get it some other way? Dun 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 dun. Oh, that's the noise you were talking about. Whenever you deal damage with this, you apply a burn. Oh, so I'd have to actually pick it up. That makes the boots way weaker. That makes the boots way weaker. I mean, let's put them on just to make sure, right? Yeah, we don't get the skill. We'd have to actually allocate the skill in the tree. Back to the browser. Which I guess isn't that big of an issue. We just don't really care as much about it. Because we could just go for air conditioner instead. Just seems like better. Air conditioner is OP. Whatever, we can mess around with that stuff. It's not that big of a deal. Now in here, I need to look at my skills again. So I have 20% increased damage. I have 25% melee recast chance, where I can apply poison to the first enemy I hit. I don't need to apply poison, don't I? I'll try to get melee recast chance on gear. 150 critical strike damage. So I think your base is 200. So we instantly go up to 350. And then we're going to get additional critical strike chance equal to your recast chance. So we're going to get 100% recast chance, which is 100% critical strike chance, which is 350% damage. Plus we're going to get critical strike chance on gear. When stab applies poison to an enemy, it also applies poison to nearby enemies up to 5. Man. Maybe that is the way to go. I mean, at worst, this is the way to go. Where we attack, we deal poison. Poison's gonna have some fat crits. Gonna apply to everything nearby. We're gonna leech off the poison. We're gonna evade a bit. Gonna be dropping some daggers. Got some more critical strike damage. So actually, we have 200% critical strike damage. So 400% from the tree. Poison's going to be increased for each enemy within a 5-yard radius, which is basically the whole screen. So these will work very well together. Our evade plus ravenous dagger. Poison does more increased damage. When I apply poison on a poison enemy, it consumes the poison, dealing 40% of the remaining damage, so it does like front-loaded damage now. This can maybe work. I think it's coming together. But let's see. Actually back to this here real quick. So I didn't get any recast chance, and I don't have the thing that gives me crit chance equal to it. It says like worst case scenarios, I have to get all of this on gear. So you need 100 recast chance. I don't think you can get 100 on gear. Not very easily, at least. You get like 50 or 60 on gear. Maybe more. Maybe actually more. I don't know, let's just say we can get 100 both of these on gear. And attributes. Well actually, what does this give me? It does give me melee recast chance, 12%. Critical strike chance, 10%. Critical strike damage for each enemy close to you. Whenever you cast a movement skill, whenever you deal critical strike damage, a skill in your primary slot has 50% attack speed for the next 2 seconds. Secondary, okay. That's all defense, armor, max life, armor, tenacity, life regen, thorns, lines. Okay, so not that one. Ignore armor, life leech, raw damage, reaper damage. Okay, nope. So probably this one, at least to the critical strike points, which is right here. It also gives me evasion, which I'm trying to stack, but I guess isn't like a huge deal. How far do we have to go to get the melee recast chance? Is it this one? No. Armor pin. That one? We got 12 already? That 1 point is 12 melee recast chance? Are you serious? No, it's 5 there and 7 there. Okay, so we gotta make it to the second one. Gotta make it to the second one. There we go. Okay, whenever you cast a movement skill, what is a movement skill? Do we have any of those in this game? What counts as a movement skill? Stab, melee, special, projectile, special, projectile area effect, melee, area, projectile, special, movement. We have one movement skill. Okay, well that's not the one. Alright, back to the browser. Well, I guess that's a good thing. I don't have to worry about that. It would have been fine though. Whenever you deal critical strike damage, you have a life on hit. You have increased damage to every elite within 200 radius. Reduced damage, retaliation, okay. Skill cost. What's up, Missing Link? What's up, dude? Ancestral strike damage. Restore some of your life. LE damage. Damage over time, 50%. How many points do you get total? 40 for 40 levels, and you get an extra 3 times 11, an extra 33. Okay. How far can we make it with 33? I don't even know if I want this tree, but that's 20. That's 33. So what can we get here? Daily damage, max mana, area, increased size. Yikes. That's terrible. Alright, get rid of that. That's garbage. Attack speed, reaper damage, projectile speed, damage to elites, knockback, pierce. Nothing else really works well for me, does it? Whenever you deal critical strike damage, the skill in your primary slot has 50% attack speed. I mean, if we're already critting, right? We just get 50% increased attack speed for free. The skill in your secondary slot has 100% overdrive bounce number multiplier. Who cares, dude? We can get an evasion multiplier by getting those two. It says we have 17, but I'm pretty sure you need both of them for 17. Okay, so that's 17 projectile damage multiplier. What's the last little effect? Skills in your secondary slot have 100% overdrive bounce number multiplier. No one cares. Back to the game. I'm looking at building another build for the Huntress. Building a build for the Huntress. Critical strike damage. I guess that's an easy 10% crit damage to pick up for 6 points. Astral strike chance. That's an easy 5 astral strike chance, but the rest is kind of terrible. Max mana. Okay. Yeah, we're just playing out a build. We usually don't plan out builds, we just start like going for it. But actually looking at planning out something at this point. So how many points we got here? 5 and 55, so that brings me to 60 out of the total is 73. So we got 13 more points to throw around here. We can do 10 for the ancestral strike chance. We can just go for attack speed and Reaper damage. We can go for movement speed. Or we can just get more evasion. Let's see, what do these actually give? 40 max Reaper damage. I haven't even looked at what Reaper I'd want to use. First 5 points are always like the best. $131 max life for 5 points. 15% Slarm Find. Man, I don't know. I don't know where to put the rest of these points. I guess it doesn't matter. 50, 60. I mean, I guess I like the Reaper damage. We're at 65 here. So we got 8 left. I don't know, just slam it in here. Something like that. Sure. Sure. Let's look at Reapers, I guess. Probably something I should have done earlier to see if this is actually going to work with anything. But you know, you live, you learn, you laugh. Alright, Ellie damage. Yeah, it's just a building website. That's all it is. So it's slarmbuilder.ml, whatever ML stands for. And you get to look at all the talents and everything. Yeah, it's kind of like POB. You get to look at the talents, the attributes, all the legendaries. It doesn't have like normal gear, but at least shows you the legendaries. Oh, there is Reapers here. Okay, we don't need that. Don't need that. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So, bow with the trainee is XP, Big Fury Bow. Not using Big Fury Bow. Thornbite Bow. Thorns. Thornbite protection is equal to 10% of all that stuff. Thorns damage. Critical strike chance. Critical strike chance equal to yours. When idle. That just sounds like AIDS. Raw damage and afflicts. That's a scale mana though. Most powerful bow. Orange damage equal to your skill damage. Oh, the sharpshooter. That's when you have to plant your feet. Carrier gold-plated bow. I have a feeling nothing is going to work with what I'm trying to do. We could just try Nimble Warrior. God, but we're going to get hit all the time. Bow of the Sleeping Butterfly. Larvae and crystal effects are now positive, which is movement speed, daily damage multiplier. Yikes. Daily damage. Yuck. Ancestral Legacy Bow. Reaper damage added to Ellie damage instead of skill damage. No, we're running out of Reapers. Overdriving Bow. Critical strikes have 100% overdrive chance. We going overdrive, dude? Overdrive is now based on your skill damage instead of your raw damage. Melee skills no longer deal damage? God. Oh my god, dude. I mean, maybe we could work with that. Because we're already doing poison. That'd be unique. We do some overdrive memes. We do some poison. Okay. Maybe that seems like the best one so far. We'll see. Crackling Thunderbow. Belly damage. Whoa, look at that. It's CI, dude. Whenever you gain life from Life Leech, life on hit, or life on kill, if your life is full, life gain is converted to shield. Your max life is 1. We got CI, dude. Yeah, we're going overdriving bow, it seems. So what does that change? Should change some of the gear, because there's a lot of overdrive gear. Or at least I think. Okay, not in that slot at least. Overdrive bounce number multiplier. Oh, it's just overdrive, right? Overdrive sucks. I mean, I guess it just helps clear. No, we have to keep the Soul Eating Mantle. Gonna keep the stagger. Gotta keep the poison things. These boots we can definitely get rid of though. They're an overdrive boot. No, of course not. Okay. I mean, we would just use these, I guess. Overdrive damage multiplier. We're not gonna have that because we need to have these. I think we need to have these. Bracers? Are there overdrive bracers? Overdrive's last balance deals increased damage. Increased damage equal to your critical strike damage. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of critical strike damage. We'll just slap those in here. Max Reaper damage. Reaper damage matter actually? Let's see here. It's gonna have Reaper damage, but overdrive is gonna base on your skill damage instead of your raw damage. I guess the Reaper damage still matters. Either way, there's nothing else to choose, so that's that. Ancestral skill, Reaper damage added to Ellie damage, block, poke smash. There's nothing good there. Okay, this is looking like the build, but I need to go back. Is there any overdrive synergy? I don't think so. Oh, there's some overdrive damage. Might be worth going after. It would be this point and this point. No, never mind. Probably not. This gives you overdrive bounce number multiplier by 100%. So that seems fine. Okay, all that seems fine, I guess. So we need to look at the tree again. Skills. Okay, looking at this again. So, main skill. We have increased damage. Hit 3 or more enemies at once. I just assume that's not going to happen. Kill an enemy with stab, triggering overdrive. We're not going to be killing enemies with stab though. We're going to be killing it with like a poison from stab. Yeah, so we can't trigger overdrive that way, which is fine. We can just trigger overdrive like a normal human. Put it on gear. Oh, or we could do this. Every trigger overdrive with finesse, you trigger 2 overdrives instead. Finesse has a 10% chance to trigger overdrive. Which is fine because we have poison from stab. poison spread from her rings. We're doing overdrive. And that's inner fire applies poison. We have all the other poison memes. I think this is something. We have a build. Inner fire duration. Yeah, I think this is going to be it. The Reaper threw like the biggest wrench in the plan, but it's gonna have a lot of bounce number. What does Overdrive do for me? Overdrive is now based on your skill damage, so it should have pretty good skill damage, because Poison's gonna have pretty good skill damage. It's gonna be Overdrive plus Poison. And if we look at the skills, we're gonna have double the amount of Overdrives. But Overdrive doesn't do anything, does it? It doesn't like apply anything. It just does a little damage. I guess that's my like biggest worry is like, is it pointless to go with this Reaper? Because if it's just based off skill damage, then I mean, Big Fury Bow and the best bow is like gonna be where it's at. Well, the Big Fury Bow will be better for Overdrive if that's based off of raw damage. Then the most powerful bow is just gonna be crazy damage for skill damage. Overdrive is melee damage. Yeah, so we're currently using Stab, which is melee, and Finesse, that's melee, because I want to make a melee Huntress. And then I was attracted to the Poison, but I was looking at Reapers, and this is like the only one that I haven't used before that could like potentially work with the build. Like, I think it's Big Fury, Overdriving, and the most powerful, which I've done Big Fury and I've done most powerful, so like Overdriving seems like it could be one. It's just the Overdrive doesn't really do much for me. Like, it's gonna have some damage. It just feels kind of like tacked on for no reason, just because I'm being stubborn about trying to use a different Reaper. Can you use melee weapons on a Huntress? You still use a bow, but you attack in like melee range with like your skills. Like the animation is tied to the skill, not to the weapon. Like we actually tried this out. Put that on this. Yeah. You just attack like with your melee. It's a lot shorter of a cooldown than expected, but I guess I have a lot of attack speed. Little second cooldown felt really clunky. Oh, I didn't switch it. So here's the... That's her cast and stab. And then here's her cast and finesse. Oh, she can do some melee stuff. So I think that'll be cool. I just don't know if the overdrive stuff is going to be worth it. Yeah, the cast time on that is not good. So when I'm actually looking at the skills, these are going to be switched. This is going to be the main skill. This is going to be the secondary skill. And this one is just to like apply things. So it has increased range. It's going to get its cooldown reduced as I crit with this one. It's going to blind enemies, just that I randomly hit. It's going to trigger overdrive if I want to do overdrive. And then it's going to do some Ravenous Dagger stuff. because it's all that you can really do. I could drop Overdrive and just go for the poison here. And that's like all the Overdrive synergy I have, besides these bracers. So we drop the bracers as well. The boots don't matter. Then we're like perfectly normal. There's just not a good Reaper to build around, unfortunately. So is Overdrive considered like multi-strike? Not really. It's like just a random damage proc. So let's see if we look at it. We have Overdrive. You get your Overdrive chance, you get your Overdrive bounce number, Overdrive damage. So Overdrive happens when you attack with a melee skill, and it's going to deal your raw damage to enemies hit. Well, it targets up to 2 nearby enemies. So if there's only 1 enemy, it doesn't work, which is the downside of it. And it just kind of seeks out those enemies and deals damage, and then the effect is over. So it's based off raw damage, which is super low. So if you wanted to do this, you would probably use the big Fury staff, or you'd use the Overdrive staff, which switches the way it scales from raw damage to skill damage to actually give it some good damage. Which I guess, I don't know, maybe there's no reason for me not to go Overdrive. So this one's Primordial. Is Overdrive damage now based on your skill damage instead of raw damage? Melee skills can no longer deal damage, but I'd be doing so much damage with Overdrive, hopefully, and I would do so much damage with poison. Oh, does that completely mess it up, though? Let's see. Stab applies poison to the first enemy hit, so it doesn't say that it has to deal damage. Still should apply it. When stab applies poison, it also applies poison to nearby enemies. We get poison leech. Well, delighted climax applies poison to enemies hit, so that's on hit as well. But yeah, I think we're okay in that regard. So we can do some poison stuff. I think this could work. It'll probably go through some other iterations, because it just kind of has to, I imagine. Let's see if this one has anything. Seems like it's all based off of it. Blinded. All delighted it does a thing. You have movement speed. Reach enemy affected. Does increased LE damage. Explosions. Yeah, this is one you have to actually build around. Deals 10% additional damage. Additional damage equal to 100 or 10% of your evasion. 100% of your evasion. That's kind of cool. A reason to scale evasion. Yeah, this doesn't look like it can be a support skill. I would use this one instead. Oh, there we go. Nice, it flipped them. So I think this is what I would end up doing. I just don't know about the overdrive part. It's something. It feels like it might be trying to do too much with the build. Well, let's look again. Is there anything else? This gives you raw damage, gives you LA damage. Don't care about that. This is things based off your experience. You have plus Reaper damage equal to the combined level of all your characters. You can no longer gain mastery? Well, we have the max character levels currently. It's not very good right now. Big Fury is a bunch of raw damage. We would want a bunch of skill damage. Means like the most powerful again. Thorns. Thorns. Raw damage equal to your max mana. We're not doing max mana stuff. Also gives you Ellie damage, which we're not going Ellie. That's projectiles, we're not going projectiles. More thorns, which we're not doing. Vindictive Slam. Whenever you hit an enemy with your primary or secondary skill, you have a chance to trigger Vindictive Slam, dealing elemental damage to enemies within a yard radius. Not doing Ellie damage. Reaper damage is added to Ellie damage instead of skill damage. Yeah, that's not good for me. Your raw damage is reduced to 0. I mean, it sounds like a cool build, I just can't do it with what I want to do. The value of the last damage received is stored. The skill in your primary slot deals additional damage. Additional damage is equal to the damage stored. You have plus max life. Max life is equal to 1% of damage stored. Your mana regen is reduced to 0. Whenever you cast a skill, restore life equal to 0.1 of its mana cost. Whenever you deal damage, you restore 0.1% of your missing mana. Nope. Mana Bender, we've done that. Nimble Warrior, you need to not get hit. I'm playing melee, so I don't know about that one. This is Ellie damage. This converts your stuff into Ellie damage. This is garbage. So this one seems like the only one that could maybe work, but I'm just not really too happy about it. I don't know if this could work. We don't have light imbued skills. I don't know how much shield you can have and how fast the shield decays. Light imbued skills deal increased damage. The shield globe's value is also increased by the increase of your Ellie damage. Yeah, okay. All Ellie damage. So I think there's only 3 bows we can even choose from. It's got to be Overdrive, Best, or Fury. Which I think it would be Best or Overdrive. So we can start with the Overdrive and then switch to Best if it's just terrible. That's all I got. Where is it? I lost it. There it is. Kept thinking that was the Gyarados one. Well, I think this will be the build. Whoops. I guess I'm gonna share. If I can just save this. Alright, link saved. Alright, let's go back to the game. Yeah, we have an idea what we're gonna do for our Huntress. Gonna have to farm some gear.